Hello and welcome back. So after the lesson number 110, we have now reached the portion of review 3. So let me go ahead and read the introduction. Our third review begins today. We will review 2 of the last 20 ideas each day until we have reviewed them all. We will observe a special format for these practice periods which you are urged to follow just as closely as you can. We understand, of course, that it may be impossible for you to undertake what is suggested here as optimal each day and every hour of the day. Learning will not be hampered when you miss a practice period because it is impossible at the appointed time. Nor is it necessary that you make excessive efforts to be sure that you catch up in terms of numbers. Rituals are not our aim and would defeat our learning goal. But learning will be hampered when you skip a practice period because you're unwilling to devote the time to it that you are asked to give. Do not deceive yourself in this. Unwillingness can be most carefully concealed behind a cloak of situations you cannot control. Learn to distinguish situations which are poorly suited to your practice from those which you establish to uphold the camouflage for your unwillingness. Those practice periods which you have lost because you did not want to do them for whatever reason should be done as soon as you have changed your mind about your goal. You are unwilling to cooperate in practicing salvation only if it interferes with God's you hold more dear. When you withdraw the value given them, allow your practice periods to be replacements for your litanies to them. They give you nothing, but your practice periods offer you everything. Accept their offering and be at peace. The format you should use for these reviews is this. Devote 5 minutes twice a day or longer if you would prefer to contemplating the ideas assigned. Read over the ideas and comments which are written down for each day's exercises. Then begin to think about them quietly, letting your mind relate them to your needs, your seeming problems, and all your concerns. Place the ideas within your mind and let it use them as it chooses. Give it faith that it will use them wisely, being helped in its decisions by the one who gave the thoughts to you. What can you trust but what is in your mind? Have faith in these reviews. The means the Holy Spirit uses will not fail. The wisdom of your mind will come to your assistance. Give it direction at the start and then lean back in quiet faith and let it use the ideas you have given it as they were given to you. You have been given them in perfect trust, in perfect confidence that you would use them well, in perfect faith that you would understand these messages and use them for yourself. Offer them to your mind in the same trust and confidence and faith. It will not fail. It is the Holy Spirit's chosen means for your salvation, and with His trust it merits yours as well. We emphasize the benefits to you if you devote the first 5 minutes of the day to your reviews and also give the last 5 minutes of your waking day to them. If this cannot be done, at least try to divide them so you undertake one in the morning and the other in the hour just before you go to sleep. The exercises to be done throughout the day are equally important and perhaps of even greater value. You have been inclined to do your exercises only at appointed times and then go on to other things without applying what you learned to them. As a result, your learning has had little reinforcement and you've not given it a fair chance to prove how great are its potential benefits to you. Here is another chance to use it well. In these reviews, we stress the need to let your learning not lie idly by between your longer practice periods. Attempt to give your daily 2 ideas a brief but serious review each hour. Use one on the hour and the other one a half an hour later. You need not give more than just a moment to each one. Repeat it. Then allow your mind to rest a little time in silence and in peace. Then turn to other things, but try to keep the thought with you and let it serve to help you keep your peace throughout the day. If you are shaken, think of it again. These practice periods are planned to help you from the habit of applying what you learn each day to everything you do. Do not repeat the thought and then lay it down. Its usefulness is limitless to you, and it is meant to serve you in all ways, at all times and places, and whenever you need help of any kind. Try then to take it with you in the business of the day and make it holy, worthy of God's Son, acceptable to God and to yourself. Each day's review assignment will conclude with a restatement of the thought to use each hour and the one to be applied on each half hour as well. Forget them not. This second chance with each of these ideas will bring such large advances that we come from these reviews with learning gains so great that we gain again on solid ground with firmer footsteps and with stronger faith. Do not forget how little you have learned. Do not forget how much you can learn. Do not forget your Father's need of you as you review these thoughts He gave to you. Now that I have read the review, let's read these footnotes as well. The best part about this book is that this purple book that I'm reading, The Circle of Atonement, read any which way, any book that you want. I'm not advocating it or anything like that, but I'm just saying this is the one that I love. And the reason is there are these footnotes that kind of help along the way. So let's see. What turns a practice into ritual is to make excessive efforts to be sure that you catch up in terms of numbers, but this implies that there is a magical power in the sheer quantity of practice periods you do. However, trying to follow the practice requirements just as closely as you can is what you are being asked to do, and it is not ritualistic. The you cannot control these situations is only what you tell yourself. The truth, as the next sentence says, is that you establish these situations in order to uphold the camouflage for your unwillingness. This is something that I really want to point out. Anywhere in the course, it only tells us that all it needs a little willingness on our part. And when we sit down to practice this, not just this, anything in life, I want to point out, anything in life that you want to do, and you will find when there is a resistance, is that you are actually not willing to do that. There could be many reasons, but all reasons apart, if that is something that is good for you, even if you know it, for some reason you're unwilling to do it. And that is the resistance that comes. Pay attention to that. This Course in Miracles is so beautiful. It goes into the root cause of what is causing anything. And I don't know of anything that is much better my time spent. If I have a thought in my mind, I want to catch it. I don't want to let it just pass by. Because even that little thought has something to it. Why did it pop up? I am that vigilant. Maybe you are not, but that's okay. As long as you're aware of it. That is all the Course is asking. A litany is a liturgical prayer in which the officiant recites a series of petitions and then the people respond to each of these with a fixed recurring response. The word has also taken on the negative meaning of any lengthy list or tedious recital. In the above passage, the things you do instead of your practice periods because you think those things will deliver more happiness are referred to as tedious litanies you recite to the gods you hold more dear than salvation. When a situation arises, I will give you my example. When a situation arises and when I know that I am knee deep into it and that I am not finding peace even for a second, I know that I have left the source. I know that I am not aligned with my highest self because I do not find peace in it, no matter what it is. If I don't find peace in it, then I know where is the mistake happening, and all I do is I just bring it back to the Course. I bring it back to the source. I bring it back. I align myself to the source, and then I center myself. I find that peace. Now that thing that I was so knee deep into it, there are a few things that happen. Either the problem goes away by itself, or gives me a response, a situation, a solution to that situation that can be handled swiftly. But it happens to all of us at all times that when we are in something, we forget who we are. We forget whose we are. We forget how we are helped. We forget that we are surrounded by helpers. Instead of asking for help, we try to solve that by ourselves with our limited knowledge, with our limited knowing. And if you can catch that, if you can be aware of that, then that is what will bring you to the center. And then you can realign. And then the beautiful thing happens and you experience miracles. That's hence the name, the Course in Miracles. Apply it and see what happens practically. This practice is a variation on letting related thoughts come, which was formally introduced in lesson 42 and which involves placing the idea into our mind and then stepping back and letting our mind spontaneously come up with thoughts that are related to it. Here, however, the related thoughts are specifically intended to speak to our needs, problems, and concerns. The process then is one in which the idea for the day inspires in us a thought that then directly addresses the difficulties we face. For examples of what these related thoughts might look like, say, see review 2, where for each idea review we are given 3 related thoughts to be used when specific difficulties seem to arise. This means if our peace is shaken, this paragraph, in other words, is talking about response to temptation practice, in which you repeat the idea in response to your upsets in order to dispel them. In other words, do not repeat the idea on the hour or half hour and then forget about it. Rather, as is said later in the paragraph, take it with you so that you have it ready for any upsets that may arise. It refers to the business of the day. In other words, by taking the idea with us into the business of the day, we make the business holy. My last thoughts on these. After this is when I'll make the next video where we will go to the review lessons. My final thoughts on these are like, I myself have done these practices when I started on the Course in Miracles, and that was in 2015, end of 2015. So basically 2016 is when I actually knew about the lessons and I did the 365 lessons. I may have not done it perfectly at all. In fact, I did not do it perfectly at all. I tried. I tripped actually. The first lesson that I think it talks about is nothing you see in this room. Look at everything in the room and nothing you see is real or something. I'm just paraphrasing it, but if you go to lesson number 1, you'll get it. Those of you who are course students. I did not do these lessons any perfectly. Whenever I would remember it, I would practice it. Whenever I would not remember it, I would not practice it. But guess what? Having done it continuously, it's not perfection that is required here. What was done is that each idea, just play with those ideas. Can I use them? So and then there are some of those lessons that will they'll become your favorite. Like one of the lessons for me is that I'm willing to see this differently. Any situation arises and I say, I'm willing to see this differently. There's so much power in those words. The only way for you to know is it's not by me telling you, it's by you utilizing it and practicing it. Hope you have a fantastic day, week. I love you, and I will be back in the next one where we will review each of those previous lessons. Namaste.